types of generative AI applications. Okay, how we can generative AI in research, okay, in your day-to-day life. So what are the various tools? So we'll be going all of those, and we'll be seeing all of those one by one. But before understanding, or before going into this generative AI, first of all, we need to understand a few concepts. Okay, let me give you an example. Say for example, you are opening up ChatGPT, right? We all use ChatGPT, we all use Gemini, right? So whenever we are going with this ChatGPT and whenever we are going with this Gemini, right? What we do, the first thing that we do is go over there, right? Head over it and ask a question, right? That's what we do. Normal case scenario, right? You are seeing the ChatGPT screen. I will just go it over there, right? And I can type anything, right? Give me some, idea about this research, or give me some idea about these things, right? But how the, answers are getting generated, right? How it is able to generate an answer. Say for example, right? I am giving a simple prompt, like I am going to the bank. Right? This is what I normally do, right? I am going to the bank. Now, how the machine will understand that what the bank means? Either it is a financial institution or it is a river bank. How it can distinguish that, right? So if I am writing it on Hindi, right? Say for example, write me a poem about Kal. Right? Kal can be yesterday and it can be tomorrow as well. Right? So how should I respond to that? Right? How it is responding to certain questions. Right? How it is handling the ambiguity. Right? So that we need to understand a little bit, right? For first 15 minutes we will understand how exactly the answers are getting generated. Okay? So now let us start with that. Okay? So we use this ChatGPT, use something, or ChatGPT or whatever the generative AI that you are seeing, right? That you are using in day-to-day life, use something that is known as transformers and attention. Okay, it uses two mechanisms, that is transformers and attention mechanism. Okay, both of the mechanism was developed and initially coined by Google itself. But let us try to understand in basic simple terms. Okay, not that much mathematics, nothing at all, right? I will try to explain that as simple as possible, how this transformer and attention mechanism works. Right? So in order to understand that, first of all we need to understand word embedding. Okay? We need to understand word embedding. Now, whenever an answer is getting generated, right, the answer is generated using word embeddings only, right? So now let us try to understand what is word embedding. Now, I have shown you an image of this king and queen, right? One is king and another one is queen, if you can see, right? I have an image of king and queen. Now, let me say one thing, right? If I have to represent this king and queen, right, with certain numbers, how I can represent that? In computer system, right, or in day-to-day life. Say for example, we are operating a switch, right? A switch can only have two operations, right? Either on or off, right? On is 1, off is 0. That means the switch works on zeros and 1 only. Similar case is there for machine also. Machine only understands zeros and 1, right? Now, if I have to represent this king and queen with some numbers, I will represent that with zeros and 1, right? I can represent king with 0 and queen with 1. Okay. Now, if I try to represent that king and queen with zeros and 1, right, will it represent the attributes? No. It will not represent the attribute. It will only represent that, okay, 1 means king or 1 means queen and 0 means king. It will only represent that. What about attributes? Right? What about attributes? Say for example, right? So here what we do is we create attributes. Okay, so a king has authority, yes, that is, a king is having authority, that is 1. 1 means yes, right? A king has tail, no, a king does not have a tail, right? So, a king is rich, yes, that is 1. And I can represent gender with some numbers, say for example -1, which indicates, it is male. Okay, -1 male, and another one is
why
female.
minus, sir? Why?
Any numbers, man. We are just creating a vector first. Okay, we are trying to create a vector. Vectors can have any numbers. Okay, first of all we are creating a vector. Okay, then we'll go up, how you can create these embeddings and every other things. Okay, so now,
sir, vector will have 0 and 1, or it can have another?
It can have a number, sir. You can define a number, set of numbers. So over here I can define that as -1. So in our case, in your case, you can define it as zeros and 1. Okay.
You can go beyond 0 and 1.
Yeah, see over there the gender cannot be yes or no.
Yes, you said, but we
Yes, this is for representation purposes.
0 and 1, we cannot go beyond 0 and 1.
Yeah, no. You cannot go beyond 0 and 1. This is embedding only. Right now we are talking about embeddings only. So after covering this embedding, whenever we are going for this generation part, then we will see how actually this generation happens.
Because I have understood that yes, 1 and 0 we take, it is binary
Yes.
put that much.
Binary.
But since we added minus 1 in the
Minus
zero,
1, minus in, because we cannot represent this as 0 and 1, on and off, right? 0 means it's either yes or it's not yes, right? Either it's true or either it's false.
So what is minus 1, sir?
Minus 1, I am representing that as male, say for example. Okay, minus 1 is male. Over here, minus 1 is male, and here I have represented in the, in the queen section, I have represented that with 1. 1 is female, female, and minus 1 is male. Okay, that too I have represented. So I can represent everything with a number, right? Anything can be represented using a number, right? But that number not necessarily means that it will have the attribute as well, right? So since over here, right, not this one is not necessary, yes. Now this figure is not visible, so yeah, no issue on that. Yes, see over here, right? If you can see, so this is how this word embeddings happens, right? So what I have is, I have in the this hand side I have authority, I have events, I have hostile, its reach or gender, right? In other column I have battle, horse, king, man, queen, and everything, right? So a king has authority, right? Then it is, I can represent that with numbers, right? It is an event, right? Anything that I can. Battle is authority? No. See over here, right? Is battle an authority? No. Battle is not an authority. It is 0, right? Is battle is an event? Yes, battle is an event. 1. So I will get a vector for this. I will get a vector for this one. So for this also, horse also, right? A horse. Horse has authority? Yes. Horse has some kind of authority, right? Horse has some kind of authority. If the horse is of king, right, he has some authority, right? And if his horse is an event? No, horse is not an event, right? If horse has tail? Yes, horse has tail. Horse is rich? Maybe. If it is king horse, then maybe it's rich, right? Then horse is a gender? Yes, horse has a gender as well, right? So I am writing it as 1. So similarly, we can create these vectors. Okay, we can create these vectors. So what is the purpose of creating the vectors? So at the end, what we will get is, we will get the real meaning of the particular word. By using such kind of vectors, by combining such kind of vectors, what we can get a real meaning. Now let me give you an example, right? Over here, say for example, this is king, right? I have represented king as 3, 8, 2. Okay, right now I am just concentrating upon embeddings. I can have any numbers over here, okay, 3, 8, 2, 4, 5, 6. I can represent that with numbers, right? 3 represents something, 8 represents something, and 2 represents something, right? So this is some axis. Okay, so what I can do is, I can use this axis, x, y, z coordinate, and I can plot a graph over here. That is king. Okay, so king is lying somewhere around this Cartesian plane. Okay, so this is the point where the king is lying, right? 3, 8, and 2. Now, similarly, if I have a queen, right? If I have a queen, so queen is sitting somewhere around here. Queen will also have some coordinates, right? Based upon its attributes, we can give coordinates to queen as well, right? So here, queen can also have some attributes, right? Now see over here. Now this is king and this is queen. Now what if we move from this hand side to this hand side, right? If we move from this place to this place, what is changing? Your gender is changing, right? So here what we are doing, we are giving some direction. And we can call this as a gender direction, right? So if we move from this position to this position, right, what we are getting a certain direction, and that we can call it as gender direction, right, like this. So if you move from this to this, it is gender direction. So in opposite hand side, right, if I have uncle over here, right, and if I move to this side, then it will be uncle, right? So if I am going to this particular direction, then what I will get this gender. Right, my gender will get changed. Okay, now similarly, right, this is the case. Okay, I can represent this word in a Cartesian plane, right? So Russia capital is Moscow, right? So if I go to this direction, right, what I am getting country, and in that part I am getting capital city direction as well, right? So over here also, right, India, the capital is Delhi. So if I go from this hand side to this hand side, right, what I am getting this country and its capital, right? Now, for this, right, what we do is we use certain mechanism, right? We use two mechanisms, that is word to wake and globe. Okay, easy understanding. I'm trying to explain it as easy as possible, right? And we don't need to understand this, how embeddings are generated, right? Then what are these limitations? But what we need to understand is, say for example, we are having these two words, right? We are having these two words. Say for example, the train will run on the track. Right? This is a normal sentence that we can have. A train will run on the track. Okay, well and good. In the next line, what we can say is, my package is late. Help me track it. Now see, same words are there. Right? Same words are there, but now the meanings are getting changed. The meanings are getting changed. That means what? That means we need something in a place that can hold its meaning. Right? For that, what we do is we use something that is known as positional arguments. Okay, we'll use something that is known as positional arguments. So what it will do is it will keep on the track. It will keep the track of the position where the word is occurring. That is first part. Now the next thing is attention. The next thing is attention. Attention means how these words, okay, how the other words are attending to that particular word. So me is attending to track, right? Help is attending to track. So how this particular word is associated? Attending means associated. How a particular word is associated with this main word. Okay, so that is what we need to find. Right? So over here I have an example. Right? So if I can simply write it, right? See how the answers are getting generated, right? So if I can simply write it, I made a rice dish called. Right? So this is our main. This is our main word, right? So this word is being attended by I made a then called, right? So what you can do is you can have a rice dish, right? Like so, idli or mixed rice. Say for example, right? This is the three option that I can have as of now. Now let me add more specification. Okay, from here what we can understand is we can understand how we should write a prompt. Right? See how we are getting a specific answer. If you simply write it like this, right, you are getting a generalized answer. Okay, you are getting a generalized answer. Now what I am doing, I am trying to write a specific prompt. What is the prompt that I am writing? I am writing I made an Indian rice dish called. Now I know that in India the rice dish can have either idli, biryani or kheer. Can we assume that, right? There are a lot of it, right? So I am writing it only three. Right? Now let me be more specific. Let me be more specific, right? Over here what I am writing I made a sweet Indian rice dish. Now I am very much confident that it is either kheer or this. Okay, so this is how we can write, your prompt effectively. So whenever we are writing the prompt, to do any kind of work, we need to be very specific what we want to do. Okay, so the main purpose of showing this, okay, this is just an attention mechanism, right? We have a lot of things over here. What is contextual embedding. So I will show you, okay, the figure, then we will conclude this one, because this will go very technical and it will be boring. So see over here, right? So I have a dish, right? So if I represent this on a Cartesian plane, right? If I represent that particular word in this Cartesian plane, XYZ plane, then what I can say is, if I have a dish, right? This can have its own attributes, right? A dish is sweet, right? It can have taste, right? Something, right? So this preserve the meaning. That means this word is preserving the meaning of word sweet. That it is preserving the word of sweet. Preserving the word of this dish. Okay, in this picture, right? These numbers are representing its attributes. Okay, what is the flavor, what is the country of origin, right? Now, if I add rice dish to it, right? A dish can have many number of attributes, right? Either it can be made of rice, it can be made of flour, it can be made of anything. Right? So I am writing what? I am adding one more attribute over here, that is rice. Right? So I am adding what? The rice dish. So now my vector changes to rice dish. Right? Now my vector is changing to this rice dish. Now once my vector changes to rice dish, that means this embedding vector will also change. This embedding vector will also change. Rice dish, this dish will have its own property, this rice dish will have own properties, right? Now if I add Indian dish to it, then what I will get? I will get Indian rice dish. Now Indian rice dish, right? This is again our word. It will have its own vector. It will have its own property, right? Now, if I add sweetness to it, then at last what I will get sweet in 10 lines. It may be here, it may be anything. Right? Now, whatever the word that I will get over here, whatever the embedding that I will get over here, that embedding truly represents the meaning of the word. Right? Then only your ChatGPT is able to answer it. Otherwise, it will not know what is the meaning of hello, what is the meaning of hi. Until and unless I don't know the context, until and unless I don't know the meaning of it, right? What is the real meaning of hello? A hello can be said in many number of ways, right? If you are calling someone, you give the hello. Right? If you are asking someone hello. Right? If you are meeting someone, hello. That is what on the basis of the context, right? On the basis of the context, your meaning of hello changes. So this is how we address those, right? So now let us jump into this tool sections, right? So what are the various tools that we can use, right? In academics. Today we will be talking about academics, right? What are the various AI tools that we can use in academics, right? So whatever I have told you, right? Whenever we are writing it, right, we need to be very, very specific. Okay, right? Writing a good prompt means you need to be specific about it. Okay, if you are simply writing a prompt like, give me a recipe of, say for example, idli, right? Say for example, idli. So it will give you a general recipe, right? So if you are writing for a specific thing, say for example, give me a recipe of idli, right? Then what you have, say for example, I have this many number of ingredients, right? And it should be, less oil. So this is specific. This is how we write good prompt, right? So writing a good prompt means you have to write it as detailed as possible. Okay, as detailed as possible, as accurate as possible. We'll see how you write this, how you can write this, prompt and everything prompt in the next session, right? Right now, let us jump into the tools that we can use in academics. Okay, so right now, most of us are in academics, so I will show you what are the various tools. There are millions and millions of tools, right? AI tools specifically, which we can use in academics, right? So I have curated few tools that we can use in academics, right? And it is, the best tool that I know, right? And the tool that I use. I will show you some tools, right? You can open up on that particular system, you can see and you can follow me over here, right? So, the first one. Okay, let me copy paste this one. Yes. This is the first one, right? That we use, which is known as black box. Okay, I have a system over there. You can simply go to this blackbox.ai. Okay, this is a very, very good tool that we use in order to write papers. Right? This is for writing papers. Right? If you want to write a paper, right? So this is the tool that we generally use. Okay, which is known as blackbox.ai. So over here, what you can do is, right? If you open up the website, right? You can see many things. You can see many things. So here, what you can do is, using this app, right? Now, how I can write a paper? So over here, right? I can write anything over here. Right? Help me write a research paper or something. Right? So help me. So write, say for example, survey paper. Survey paper on generative AI, right? So over here, right, if you see over here, what you can see is, you can see a lot of things over here, right? App builder, upload, multi-panel. So what you can do is, you can use this multi-panel. Okay, you can use this multi-panel. Now what you can do is, see over here, you can see two panels, right? That means now over here, what you can do, you can use two agents simultaneously. Right? I will do this work and simultaneously I want to do that also. Right? What I can do is I can use this, multimodal things. Right? So what I will do is, let me close it again. Right? I will show you. Right? I can use this multi-panel. Right? I will simply click on this multi-panel. Now over here, what I can do, I can use two panels. I can use two panels. Now, say for example, right? Say for example, you are working on something, right? You want to generate some code, right? You want to generate some code, or you want to analyze some data, right? What I can do, I can simply go with this app part, right? App builder. So if you simply hit on app builder, what you can do is you can generate a production ready app. Right? Sometimes it might happen that I need to have an app, right? I want to create an app, I want to create a website, right? So what you can do is you can simply give a prompt over here. Okay, you can simply give a prompt, right? So help me to create an e-commerce website. Yes, yes. I will have to explain this. Yes. Yeah, you can select anything. If it is showing this cloud 4, right? Gemini 2.5 Pro and everything, right? So you can choose any model that you want. You can choose any model, right? So you can simply hit and enter. Let me log in over here. Now what it will do is it will generate the code for you. Okay, it will generate the, since I have used this not many number of times, my credit is done, right? But in your case, what it will do is it will generate the code. Okay, this is something that you can use if you want to have a code ready version of your paper. Right? Say for example, you are writing a paper, and in that paper you are discussing some frameworks, right? Now in that framework you need to have an app, or you need to have a particular website, or you need to have a framework ready, right? What you can do is you can use this one, right? But the next one, okay, this is very interesting one. Okay, so I will simply write it as simply copy paste over here, right? This one. app.jenny.ai. Okay, app.jenny.ai. That is the next tool. Okay, this is the next tool that we use in this research area. So what I can do is, if you open this, first of all you have to log in. Okay, first of all you have to log in over here. Now you will see some screens over here like this. Okay, you will see some screens over here. So what I will do is I will simply click on new, right? Then document. Okay, new, then document. Now just wait for some time, right? Now my editor is initialized. Now here, right, I can have a document, like fully fledged documents, right? So what I want to have a literature review. Say for example over here I am writing, right, a literature review on AI ethics in healthcare, right? Say for example I want to write a simple essay or an abstract for that, right? So let me write AI ethics in healthcare. Right. Now over here it will see, it will show you weak prompt, right? It will show whether or not your prompt is good enough or not. Right? So I can write it over here, right? I can write then now it is good. Now it is good, right? So what I am writing AI in healthcare, additionally add the impact of AI in healthcare. So what I want to have standard headings. So it will generate the headings, right? So I will click on start writing. See? Right? So it will show you, right? So this is the skeleton, right? It has created. So first of all, it will go for introduction, then literature review, then methodology, then result, then discussion, then conclusion. And this is the format of the paper, right? This is the format of the research paper. So over here, what you can do, you can simply see, and you can see over here, right? Introduction. So in this introduction part, right? If you want to have another introduction, right? If you want to change it, then what I can do? If I want to accept, I will simply click on accept. Otherwise, I will go with try again. Right? So, okay, for me it's fine, say for example, right? So what I will do, I will accept it. This is the introduction part, right? So, see, again, right? Now again it will generate more elements. So it is writing introduction for me, right? And see over here, it is generating what? It is generating references as well. Right? It is a pretty useful tool if you are going with this paper writing. If you are into paper writing, right? If you want to write some research paper, what you can do is you can read it, right? If you are not finding it well, what you can do is you can enter or you can click on try again, and it will again write what? Again write the it will again write your introduction part, and you can change it n number of times. Okay, the limitation over here is right. You will get a limited number of tokens per day, right? So kindly be mindful about that. But apart from that, what you can do is you can use this tool. Okay, so what I will do, I will accept it again. Right? I will accept it. Then what it will do, it will again generate it. Okay, it will again generate it. So it will keep on generating. Okay, since the connection has been lost, right? It will keep on generating. So see, in the literature review, it has generated. Right? So what I can do, I can accept it. Okay. Right? I can accept this literature review. Right? Now again it will think. Okay, this is also a literature review. Right? So what it is doing is it is writing the paper. It is showing it to you, right? And you are saying that okay, whether I want to accept this or not. Right? Whether I want to accept this, okay. If you want to accept, simply click on accept. And it will give you references from where the references has been taken, right? It will generate all the tables, all the figures, right? Everything it will do. What you need to have, you need to have a basic idea. Say for example, help me to write a research paper on business. Right? So primarily what I have done this many number of questions, I have done this many number of surveys, and in these surveys, these all are my answers, or these all are my result of the survey. Now help me to write a paper. See the similar works, right? So what it will do, it will write all the literature reviews, right? It will go with methodology, it will go with results, discussion, and in differences as well. Okay. But the thing over here is you need to be very mindful about the number of tokens that you get. Okay. It's very limited for the free user, right? But it is relatively very cheaper. Okay, the options are very cheap, right? If you see the pricing over here, right? 844, okay, annually. Okay, so you can go with that one. It is very, it's not that much of a big deal, right? So if you once you have done that, you can easily use it. Okay, this is the next one which we generally use for paper writing.
Can we see methodology?
Yes, sir. See, in the methodology part, right? I will wait for some time, right? Now I'm just thinking. Yes.
Just suggest.
It will not suggest. It will write the methodology for you. Yeah, it will write for you. This is a paper.
Can you go to the quality one?
See, if you want to see, right? If you can read it, right? You can read it. This is the research paper.
Or suppose I want that to say that you don't use this methodology. Let's say you use this methodology.
So for that I need to go and I need to change my prompt over there. So these are so whenever we are giving the prompt, that's why I have told you, right? Whenever we are giving the prompt, we have to give the prompt as detailed as possible. So these are the methodologies that I have used. So this is how I have set the data. This is what I have done, right? So based upon that, it will generate everything. Okay, it can generate the results for you as well. Right? So if I can simply click on results, right? So what it will do is it will think for some time.
So for us, this topic.
Yes.
Now if you add a
Yes. If you can add the methodology, right, it will give you the result as well. Right? What are the findings? What are the results? Right? So this is a very useful tool if you are going for paper. Okay. Now the next one. Okay. The next one is conscious. Conscious today. You can try it on. So over here, what you can do is you can write anything. Okay, you can write anything over here. So if you can go into this particular site, right? Like as the research starts here. So for example, I want to work on quantum computing, right? Or maybe I want to work on some, any topic. So let me write like my topic only, right? So I want to work on natural. I want to work on natural language processing. This is my domain, right? You can type your domain, right? Now, if I hit enter, right? So it will give you all the papers related to that particular field. Okay, it will give you all the papers. It will give the papers. It will give the references from where you can start, right? So if you are thinking to start your research from some point, and if you don't know from where I should, start. From where my research should start. So what you can do is you can simply use this app and you can simply write, right, what are the research that you want to perform. See? So this is the research that I want to perform, right? So over here, right, it will give you all the papers from where it has given all those citations, right? These all are the citations, right? This is the research papers, everything. So it will give you a brief idea about the topic. Okay, it will give you the brief idea about the topic. So it will give you some papers. So this is a highly cited paper. Okay, this is a highly cited, so you can say highly cited, right? Which paper is highly cited, which paper is not highly cited, which is having high impact, right? So everything. You do not need to go to Google Scholar and click on next to find that particular research paper. What you can do, you can simply come over here, you can simply describe your idea. Okay, just describe the idea. Okay, I have an idea, I want to perform this particular task, or I want to do research on this particular area, right? What I will do is I will simply do what? I will simply write my research idea over there. Okay, I will simply write my research idea over there, and after writing the research idea, I will get everything, whatever the content that I need.
So you mean that we can give our objectives there?
Yes.
And
You
we
can
can
give objectives over here, right? So based upon that objective, it will suggest what is the best, paper that you can read in order to fulfill that particular objective. Say for example, objective number 1. For objective number 2, you can go with this particular paper. For objective 3, you can go with this paper. So these all are the papers, right? You can have. So if I click on this, right? So you will get everything from where it has, what you can say, extracted, right? From where it has extracted what is the things, right? So everything you will get it over here. Okay, so this is the place in which, or we can say this is an AI which you can use in order to kickstart your research journey. Okay, you find that how to do it, from where to start it, right? Simply go over here, type your research thing, done, get it done. Okay, it will give everything for you. Now, the next one, okay, it is pretty interesting, right? I will show you. I will write it over here. The next is connectedpapers.com. Okay. The next is connected papers. So say for example, if you are reading a certain research articles, right, and you want to find similar kind of works, right? It is a tedious task to find similar kind of work. Right? In some paper, you are reading some paper and after that you find out that okay, this is not the one that I'm looking for. Previous paper was different, this is different, methodology is different, techniques are different, now you are getting confused. So what I can do is, I can simply use this connectedpapers.com, right? Over here, I will simply give a paper title. Right? I will simply give a paper title. Say for example, a paper title that I will give, right? This is a paper, okay? This is a paper. Now what it will do, it will find all the related papers. It will give you a graph, okay? If I see, right, it will give you all the related papers. See, this is your main paper, right? So this is the main paper, so main paper will be highlighted in the purple circle. Okay, this is my main paper. Now from this main paper, right, these all are the papers that are related to each other. Okay, these all are the papers that are related to each other. So one that is very close to it, it is more related. Okay. Yes, if I click it, see, this is the paper. Yes, see. This is the paper. Over here you can get it in the left hand side. Right? So I can get a paper like this. See. I can go over here. So no need to find, right, what are the related papers. Right? So no need to read all the papers to find whether it is related or not. So what I can do is I can simply go over here. I can simply write my paper title, or I can write my DOI over here. I can give a link also. Okay, I can give a link. I can write my paper title, everything over there. Then what it will do, it will simply find all the papers that are related to it. Okay, so this is how we do it. So this is the next one. Okay, generally that we use in this academics, right, in research. So the next one is research tab. Okay, so for this you need to log in. Okay, let me write it over here.
Sir, can you say a little more about the connected paper?
Yes, ma'am. So ma'am, see over here, right?
Sir, use of this AI is for literature review or something else?
Ma'am, for this one, what I can do is, say for example, right, I have a particular paper, right? Say for example, let me search a paper over here. Let me search a paper over here. So any paper that I want to search, right?
You can also put Sarkwa.
That's it.
Sarkwa, SCRT. Okay, you can write it.
So say for example, right, this is the paper. This is the paper that I have, right? So in this particular paper, what I can do is, now this is the paper, right? I want to, study, or this is the paper that I am going through. Now after going through this particular paper, I found out that okay, whatever the techniques that I have used, right, it is interesting. Okay, it is interesting, and I want to use this particular technique. Right? I want to use this particular technique. Now there are a lot of papers that related to this only, related to quantums. Now if you start reading all of those papers, in all of those papers, what you will see different methodologies. Someone is using different methodology, someone is using different methodology. Then what will happen? All the research paper are disjointed. You will find that all the research paper are disjointed. None of the papers are related to each other. That's how to find it, right? You can, in the Google Scholar, you can see certain paper has been cited for this many number of times. But where it is cited? From where it is cited, right? Whatever the paper has been cited, right? Whatever the citation has been made, right? Whether that has been used or not, how to find that? So what you can do, you can simply come over here, right? You can simply come over here. So I will simply copy this link, right? So I will simply build a graph, right? So based upon this paper, if this paper is important, right? So this is not available. I will see. I will write it over here. Suppose I am writing a paper title over here. Right now it is suggesting what is the paper that you are reading. Right? Say for example, I am reading this particular paper. Okay, right now. Okay, I am reading this particular paper right now. So what you will do is I will simply have to wait. Okay, just wait for some time. It will build the graph. Right. So this is my paper. Right. It is building up a graph. Now it is showing in the papers that are related to each other. So these all are the papers that are related. So if you go over here, right. Go over here, you can see a lot of research papers. So this is my main paper. Okay, so this is my main paper. So this main paper is not related to anything. See over here. Okay, it is not related to it. So if you start with this main paper, that means this will be your base paper. You cannot find any related word like that. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply discard. Right. So what you can have, you can simply search for the papers that are more connected, so that you can have more number of references. This is the use of your connected papers. it shows you all the related papers. Okay, so you do not need to go and find again. Okay, then the next one is research tab. Okay,
Research?
research tab.
Diamond. Research diamond.
Rabbit. Research tab. RABBIT.
Rabbit.
Research tab. First of all, over here, what you can do is, right? This is pretty interesting one. Okay, first of all, kindly sign into that one, right? You need to sign in. In order to use this research rapid, right? Kindly sign in, and I can write it like this. Say, for example, right? Same paper I will refer, right? It is free paper. So I will add this as a collection over here. Add to collection. Right. Now I will close it. Now see. Now over here, what you can see all the papers. Right. So what are the similar words? Okay. What are the similar kind of words that are going on? See, if you look it up, it will also make you some graph. Okay, it is free. Okay. Research rapid is pretty. You will get whole number of papers over here. Okay, so you can have this, all the papers. I can have all the papers that are related to each other. Okay, that are related to each other. So I can find it like, what are the citations, right? So what are the citations? So all the citations will come over here. Okay, the citation is pretty large, so it will take some time, right? So what you can get all the papers listed it over here. Right? I will have one base paper, so I will simply put that base paper over here. Right? Now after putting that base paper, what I will get all the papers. So now, if I see over here, right? I can add another paper as well. Okay, I can add another paper. So say for example, you are working on multidisciplinary, right? So what I can add over here as well. Now I will see, right, all the papers over here. So what I can do, I can go to similar words, right? You can find similar kind of papers. Okay, you can find similar kind of papers. What are the papers that are very similar to each other, right? So what it will do is it will help you to kickstart the research journey. Okay, it will help you to kickstart the research journey. Now, after this, what we need to learn is we need to learn how to write the prompt. Now we know, right, there are certain tools that we can use, right? But how to write an effective prompt, right? There are certain rules that we use in order to write this effective prompt. Okay, that we will be seeing on the tomorrow's session, right? Today was just an introduction to all the tools, right? All the academic tools. There are millions of academic tools, right? But these 5 are the one of the best tools that we can use as of now. Okay, if you want to get into academics, right? If you want to write papers, if you want to post some citations, right? So these all are the tools that we usually use. For the next session, what we will be saying is we will be seeing how we can write this effective prompt. Okay, there are certain rules too. Okay, whenever we are writing the prompts and how to write it, right? What is the way of writing it? So we will be discussing the prompt engineering in the next session, right? So yeah, today we'll be concluding on this one only. Thank you very much.